Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do you have your workbook open to hand out 7A? Dun, 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 dun. I'm turning mine. Hand out 7A. Here we go. And you've got to turn it sideways. Do you have something to write with? Because you need a pen or pencil. Now, I know that what I'm showing you on the slide is hard to read because it's so tiny, the little worksheet. So you should be looking at your workbook page, not really the slide, because it's really hard to read. Directions. Read the following text excerpts from We Are the Ship and the sample paraphrase of that information. Determine whether or not each paraphrase meets the characteristics of a successful paraphrase and revise the paraphrases that do not meet the criteria. So, here is the text excerpt, the passage that we have to read. All of that traveling would wear on you. Many times the only sleep we got was on the bus. But that could be hard because we had to take the back roads to get to some of those little towns. And they were so bumpy, they'd have us bouncing around the bus like popcorn on a hot stove. Fastest we could go was about 35 to 40 miles per hour. If the driver got sleepy, a couple of the guys on the team would take turns driving the bus. To pass the time, we played cards or sang old Negro spirituals or barbershop numbers. So that came straight from the book We Are the Ship. Now I'm going to look at the second column where it says sample paraphrase, and we have to decide whether this meets the characteristics of a successful paraphrase. We Are the Ship explains that players could only sleep on the bus. That was hard because they had to take the back roads to get to the towns. The roads were really bumpy. They couldn't drive very fast. If the driver got sleepy, some of the players would drive for him. They sang songs and played cards to pass the time. Now, I would say that this isn't a bad paraphrase. It does have a few good elements. Let's see. It says that they could only sleep on the bus. Now, it didn't say that they could only sleep on the bus. It said many times the only sleep we got was on the bus. So I don't know if that's exactly true, the way they said it. It was hard because they take back roads, which they did. The roads were really bumpy. That's true. They couldn't go very fast. That's also true. Some of the players would drive if the driver got sleepy. That's true. And they sang songs and played cards to pass the time. All right. So not too shabby, except for when you're paraphrasing, you still have to tell where you got the information. So they said, We Are the Ship explains. Now, I think it would have been okay if they had said, in the novel We Are the Ship, the author explains. So let's try what they said. The first thing I want you to do is to record where it says key points. Let's record the key points. So one of the key points they were trying to make was that players drove if the driver fell asleep. That's one key point. Players drove if the driver fell asleep. Another one was that sleep was hard because of bumpy roads. Sleep was hard because of bumpy roads. And the last key point, because I felt like they were making three, was that the players entertained each other. This way, I'm not repeating all these phrases. Like this person that did the sample paraphrase, they took a lot of the same words and used them again. And that's not how paraphrasing works. You really want to put most of it in your own words. And if you look at the bottom of the text excerpt, it gives you the page number in parentheses. That parentheses 23, that's the page number. So now I'd like you to write the new paraphrase. That's the way that we're supposed to do our paraphrasing. So according to page 23, of We Are the Ship. We are the ship, comma. Now I want to write, the key points are just bullet facts, and I want to write really good sentences. So, life on the road was difficult or tough or hard because getting enough sleep was hard. And then I'm going to explain why it was hard, because it was hard. They were bounced around because of the rough roads. See, I'm not even using bumpy. I'm using my own words. Because of the rough roads, players made the trip better by playing games. You know, they played cards. By playing games, singing, and even driving for the bus driver when he got sleepy. So when you have written the paraphrase example, then turn the page because there are 2 more text excerpts to do on the back. So copy this down, the key points and the paraphrasing, and then turn your page and go to the next slide.